Going on with the tutorials, we're actually going to work on the passwords here. And the reason why is because we've just done the generic mouse events, and we worked with the difference between using if statements and using case statements. And what we really need to do is explore that a little bit more. So we're going to create a password using if that checks to find out whether or not you've put in the correct password, and if it has, then it makes this particular movie clip go to the right place. So let's take a look inside. We have wait right now, which what it does is just stops at the end here. Then we have if you have the wrong password, it needs to go to denied, and it will play that timeline, and then it will get to the end of that section and jump back to wait. Then it will go to accepted. If you have the right password, it will go to accepted, and then that will jump you back. I think maybe that just stops. Let's take a look at the code here. Yeah, it actually goes back and stops at 1. So it will play accepted and then go back. And then we have the admin that does the same thing. It will play it for a second and then it will jump back to the very beginning. So if we have the right password, it will show it for us for a second and then jump back. Now I also want to point out that I have this little box here, which is admin_MC. That might be important as we go forward as well. So to begin, what we're going to need to do is create a function event listener pair that will basically just check a password. When we click on password1 button, it will find out what the password is in this particular box and make it work. Now I am using a component here. If I go to the Windows Components and I go to User Interface, I'm actually using the text area, text input component. And one of the nice features about this text component is that it has the ability for you to display things as a password. And you'll see how that works after we have started to put in some stuff. Now let's begin by creating our function event listener pair. So I'm going to copy the function and event listener pair that I currently have, and let's create a new section down here, and we'll say check password 1. So our first thing is going to be to create a function. Then we need some sort of event listener. Oops, looks like I have an extra curly bracket there. And I'm going to have a event listener that goes with it. So let's call this check password 1 or check pass 1. That way we can make both of those the same. And then of course we need it to be the correct object that we're clicking on. And that object is password1_btn. Let's move that up a little bit. So just to find out if we're getting the right thing, let's trace. You clicked the button. Let's see. I don't even think that we need to do that. You clicked password. I should probably put that. There we go. That'll work. Just anything right now, just to make sure that that event is clicking and working. It's always important for us to test out anything we possibly can. So just check it. I click, and it says you clicked on password1btn. Now this other one is still running, which is the generic mouse event listener, which is tracing the event name. You don't have to have this outputting, but it's fine to leave it there. Look at one thing. This is very interesting to note. Notice that when I output this, the you clicked password 1 first happened, and then the password 1 happened afterwards. Or then it output the name by itself afterwards. Because what's happening is, since this is an event listener that is actually physically attached to the button versus a generic mouse event listener which is attached to the stage, that way this one is running first, and then that event is bubbling down to the stage and being caught by the stage event listener. So that's why we're getting both of them, which is kind of cool. Anyway, moving on. Now what we need to do is put in a simple password and see if it works. So we're going to say if the password text equals something else particular, and we can find out what the name of that is. Probably it's in here somewhere. Let's see, password1_txt. If that text, so we have to do .text equals, and then we have a double equals because it's a comparison. If it equals something such as pass, then we'll be able to run our next thing. So we need the end of our parenthesis, beginning of a curly bracket, and now what we'll do is we'll put in what object we need to jump to the next thing. So we're going to make this thing go to accepted if it is correct. So that is the access1_mc. We'll say access1_mc dot go to and stop, or play accepted. So let's see if that works. Save it and test it out. We'll come over here and let's put in pass, check the password, and you'll see it went over there. So that worked perfectly, exactly what we wanted. Now we can start to put additional statements. Maybe that one is not correct. So I'm going to add another one here, and I'm going to use an else if. That way it continues to go on. If it equals admin, let's go ahead and press go to admin. Now, if it is not correct, we need to have something. So I'm going to copy that again, and I'll put in else, and I don't really need any arguments for else, because else just says go to denied if nothing else worked. If the first one is not correct, is not true, if the second one is not true, and anything else that I might have as if or else if is not true, then go to else and play that. So what will happen is this will go denied if we put in any other password at any time. So let's try it. So if I have nothing, it goes to denied. If I put in anything, it goes to denied. If I put in pass, it should go to accepted. And if I put in admin, it should go to admin. So that's great. That's one of the great things. I mean, that's an easy way to create a conditional statement that allows me to check for a password and jump to the sections that I need. Now, we are going to do the same sort of thing using case in the next tutorial. So make sure that you've got that working and then go on.